Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO, and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculetta.
Hey everybody, hope everybody's doing well this chilly, at least here, Monday evening.
Yeah, it is a little bit chilly out there, and of course, they moved the clocks on us.
Yes, they did.
And
that hour
tonight,
we got back was nice, though.
well, yes, I guess it does. Until we lose it again, I guess, in a few months. And tonight, we have our first guest ever. Please welcome Lisa from DDO Cocktail Hour. Please welcome, Lisa.
Oh, hi. Thanks. Thank you for having me. Sorry, I was wondering.
She's like,
didn't know if I was going to get an introduction or not.
Like, when do I talk? When do I talk? What's going on? I'm confused.
No. I figured you'd just tell me.
All right.
I'm really happy to be here. I love your show.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Now, I was wondering if you could tell us about your history with Dungeons & Dragons and, of course, with DDO.
Sure. That's actually a fun story for me. I've told this before, so I hope you haven't heard it ever. Actually, I told it on our very first cocktail hour ever. First time I ever played tabletop D&D, I was 11 years old. And it was my brother's game, and my cousin was the DM. And my brother was so affronted his little sister was trying to butt in on his game that he paid an assassin to have me killed. I was so traumatized that I never played again. Wow. Until after I started playing DDO in 2006. So, which leads me to I started playing DDO in 2006. Right after I had just finished a playthrough of Neverwinter Nights, and I was looking for something similar, and this was it.
All right. So you've done much. Have you done since then much on the tabletop, or has it been?
Yeah, I'm in a game right now, actually, but it's old school. It's an old school first edition AD&D game, DM'd by Lincolnbeard. Yes. Oh, it's the rules are it's so completely different, but it's fun. We have a good time. Leveling is taking forever, but I guess that's to be expected.
Seeing that I go back to 0th edition.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool because then Clankenbeard, my husband in real life, is the DM for that game, and he's very sort of creative, and he does all the characters and all the voices and everything. It's a very fun game, and we have a naked gnome.
Well, of course you do.
Well, everyone should have.
Why wouldn't you? That's right.
He walks around. Yeah, he walks around the dungeon all normal and cool, and then as soon as we go into a fight, he pulls off all his clothes and announces to the monsters that I'm the gnome. That's it. That's how we started Recombat. That's our role for initiative.
Hope he's not a fighter.
No.
He probably wouldn't last long if he would.
Nope.
Oh, gnome illusionist, I guess.
Yes, exactly right.
Oh yeah, it's in first edition that is almost stereotypical. And how did you come up with the idea for your cocktail hour?
Oh gosh, well I had been with the DDO cast segment contributor since about episode 35. So Jerry was the host back then, and he used to have these roundtable discussions every once in a while when something big happened in the game, or when we all just got pissed off. When we were all pissed off, we all seemed to make it into the Skype at the same time to do a roundtable discussion where we're all very, very angry. Well, this was one such discussion, and at that time, Samus had a segment also on the DDO cast, and that's how we sort of met, because during that show, all we did was fight. I don't even know what the show was about, because all I did was fight with Samus. So after that, we decided, hey, let's combine our segments. And it was so long the show was so much fun. We decided, well, let's try kind of spinning off into a show that's a little bit different from the DDO cast, where we talk about social things, where we talk about guilds, where we talk about loot, where we talk about people getting pissed off at each other in game, and it's blossomed from there. And 75 shows later, we're still trying to make it work. Our scheduling is just a nightmare, because his schedule is different from mine. So getting together for a show is a lot harder than it used to be. But I really want to do a show.
All right. Very well. Anything else you have about your history with D&D, DDO, or the Cocktail Hour?
No, I think you pretty much hit it all.
So then let's go into the game news, at least what little of it there is, because there isn't any. All right. We do have a DDO Chronicle, but of course we get one of those every single week. And I was wondering, Drac, did you find anything interesting in this week's?
Best thing I liked about it this week was a player by the name of Failed Legend has a thread up on the forums where he is going through the armors and using the mirror of glamoring on them, and you can actually see what they will look like. I implore everybody to check this thread out because some of these armors look amazing.
All right, that would be a
So
good one.
in case you want to use the mirror, but you don't want to spend the TP and then find out, oh, I don't like the look of that armor. He's got quite a few on, well, I'm assuming it's a he, I really don't know. They have, I'll put it that way, have quite a few of them up. They even have some shields and
hold
some
on.
robes.
Someone doing I don't know, because whenever I run to someone who's heavy into cosmetics, it's usually a she.
Yeah, I can't tell from just the name, but anyway. So yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. It's a brave new world, guys.
Okay.
We're all adjusting.
That's right.
All right. Since you're more used to the community for DDO than we are, I was wondering, are most of the cosmetic heavy ones female, or is it different in DDO? Because in Lotro...
No, that is not my experience at all. I know
Okay.
some guys who are way more into cosmetic stuff than I am, and they are very concerned about how their character looks. And they want that, and you know, whether they're playing a male or a female character, they want that character to look right. As one of my mentors, my ranger mentor says too, he says, I want my bow to match my shoes. And he's very serious about it. So that is, that's that. So I respect that. Heck yeah.
All right. So things are a little bit... Well, of course, you can't get a bow to match your shoes in... Well, I guess you might try to match your bow.
Yeah, exactly.
But certainly not the other way around, since you can't... There's no such thing as cosmetic weaponry in Lotro.
Really?
You cosmetic just about anything else. Well, you can't do with shields either, but you can do all armor, cloaks, headgear, shoulders. Let's see, and of course, and dyes are very important in Lotro in how you do the cosmetics in there. So that if you want something to match something, usually you can dye it in order to make it work. I don't know how
awesome.
dyes work in DDO.
That is why we have Lessa on this show. Lessa knows all.
How does work in DDO? That's funny. Keep going. I said I wasn't going to interrupt you during the news, and look at me.
Yeah. Okay. What was so funny about that?
That was because we don't have much of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You mean the only dyes that's better are the ones for the hair?
Yeah, hair dye. Those are fun.
They are fun. I'm loving the hair dyes.
Okay, I haven't done anything with hair dyes, so I haven't worked with them, I guess. So that's some right. All right, so therefore, the person who is going off on into the showing us off all the things that you've got, that's, I guess, for you. What'd you think about the guy with the pumpkin in the shot of the week?
A lot of pumpkin heads here lately. Of course, I guess it makes sense with Halloween, but a lot of pumpkin heads for the screenshots.
Yeah, I guess that's typical. Yeah, it looks like he's about to whack me with the axe or something. Is that a mace? It's hard to tell.
And the only other thing, your DDO website is back. It was gone for a little while. They're still working on it. The only thing that's not there that used to be there, if you're familiar with it, they used to have character stats and guild list pages. Of course, that no longer works since Turbine took the API for that away. Other than that, there's a monster manual, offline monster manual you can look at on there. There's going to be maps. It's constantly being updated. So make sure you bookmark your DDO as well. It looks like it's going to be a great site again. And that looks to be about it from the Chronicle this week.
That's it from the Chronicle this week. Then we'll have to go into the store sales. Hopefully something's exciting for sale.
Well, speaking of hair dyes and cosmetics, That's what we have in the store sales this week. Free sample of the week through November 6th is the Double Duty Hair Reversion Tonic. Use coupon code HAIR31. Once again, coupon code for that is HAIR31. You get one per account, 25% off the augments and jeweler toolkits, hair dyes and styles, cosmetic armors, cosmetic hats, helms, and headwear, and Omni Dust and Stones, also 25% off. Also, a little note about the store. Now in the store, quote-unquote, permanently, we know how Turbine is with their permanent in the store.
Yes.
Is a plus 4 UMD skill tomes are now available in the store.
All right. What's a double duty hair reversion tonic?
If you buy a hairstyle and you don't like the hairstyle and are your hair color, you can use the hair tonic and you can go back to your original and you can re-dye it or rechange your style.
All right. So it's not much use if you've never gone and changed your hairstyle.
Correct.
All right. And I'm going to assume that there aren't any barbers in DDO then.
No, it's all done through the store. I actually took advantage of the sale this week. I bought some cosmetic armors.
Ooh.
Which I will have to say is the first time I have ever bought cosmetic armors in any game. So
well, I can't claim that because I have several characters on Lotro that are wearing a cosmetic set bought from Lawlia's Market.
Yeah, see, I usually don't spend my Turbine points on that stuff, but I've been looking at these armors, these cosmetic armors forever, and I decided, okay, I'm going to jump and get them. So.
All right then. Well, we don't have any site news this week, or even beyond DDO news. I mean, at least Wizards of the Coast could have done something and released something
exactly.
this week.
I kept looking at it. I'm like, come on, Wizards, give us something.
So therefore, let us have a little talk with Lisa about permadeath and some tips for new players, especially those who are trying to deal with the world of permadeath, where I've gotten up to level 3 so far trying that style and gotten killed twice attempting it.
So you're the one who's trying permadeath. For some reason I thought it was Draculetta, but Draculetta is one that hates crafting.
Yes.
We will talk about that.
I hate crafting.
We will talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
I've got you in my radar now. So.
I am scared. I am so scared.
You should be. As well,
All
you should
right.
be. Well, what do you want to talk about first, Pine
Let's
Leaf?
talk about permadeath first.
Okay. All right. Well, I have a few things for you to think about. First of all, I thought you guys did a great job of explaining what is permadeath a couple of shows ago whenever you first started trying it. And you died right away, if I remember correctly.
Well, yes, what I did is I had gone through Korthos Island. Then I decided, let's try the Pirates Cove, which started just that day. And
so let me guess,
killed.
you weren't alone, as in you weren't in a party, but you weren't alone. And if you're around higher level players, the monsters spawn in the crit range for those players, and as well for you.
Yeah,
so
I found that
they're all in this big
that.
group. Yeah, they're all in this big group, so it's really easy to get killed. The best thing for you to do is to be alone.
Yeah, there was no one else around actually, but I think someone passed by a little bit earlier.
Too close to you. They got too close. You got to be careful what you whack on out there. You will get killed. Oh my goodness. I thought you guys, and I'm very surprised, Pine Leaf, because you're still playing it. That's a very good sign. That's a good sign for you. Because most people who try it will try it, they'll die once, and then they quit forever. So playing permadeath is a lot like joining a cult. Right? There are some things that you're going to miss. There are some things that are going to frustrate you. There are some things that you're going to have to give up, and you know that going in. And there are some things that you're not going to like. But and some things are just downright weird. Like, God, what are all these rules? What am I doing? What are these people? They're so serious about this whole permadeath thing. But you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. So you'll die once and you'll quit forever, or you'll die once and you'll never quit. That's what happened to me. I started playing PD in 2006. I just
all your
never
characters,
stopped.
or just some of them?
Right now, 85% of what I do is PD. The only time I venture out is for static groups like the Fall Fling, the static group I'm in with Jerry that he streams over a lunchtime every Wednesday. Oh, hey, that's a plug. Right. You can watch us in the Fall Fling from 12:30 to 1:30 Central. And I live stream half the time whenever my computer is cooperative. But sometimes
Whenever it's
I don't.
cooperative.
Yeah, whenever it's cooperative, I don't always get to do it. But you can watch that if you want to. That is not a permadeath group, though we do shame each other for death. And let's see, I have a guild on Arganessen that is non-permadeath, where I have my original level 28 character. Well, she's not level 20 at the moment. She's because I did an epic TR and I took her back to level 20, and now she's level 25. So I'm getting back there.
Right.
I will be back there soon. We have the good ship, which is basically for me and like 5 people. The Drayden Kraken with all these great buffs on it, and it's so empty. But that's okay. I like it like that. I like it like that. I'm the queen of the ship. But
right.
most of what I do is PD. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm rambling on your show. You're letting me do this finally. I blame you.
We always blame Pine Leaf for everything, so it's okay.
I do have a question, though.
Sure.
And on how you handle a certain situation. I'm currently on my 3rd character, a bard, and on my first daily die roll, I rolled 100, and that dropped a Sibley's cake into my inventory. What am I going to do with a Sibley's cake if I want a permadeath character?
Well, first of all, you're doing this on your own, right? You're not in a guild or anything?
He's crazy like that.
Right.
Okay. Because that's one way to do it, maybe. And a lot of people, that's one way to do it. A lot of people do that. A lot of people start permadeath static groups. And you could also join a permadeath guild if you wanted to. And most permadeath guilds, not all of them, some of them are pretty hardcore. You need to check them out. But most of them will allow you to keep the Cyberus dragon cakes that Cyberus spirit cakes that you've earned, say, through Turbine. They just magically end up in your inventory one day. Or say through the 40th anniversary cards. There was a combination that you could do, and you could make a little stack of 6 cakes. With my guild on Thalanus, we got to keep those. So, of course, we just don't even know. Whenever we die, if somebody's got a cake, it's like, because someone's there in front of you dead, and if you can do something about it, everybody wants to do something about it. I'm not like that. I don't have that kind of sympathy for other people, but I've seen too much death in my day. But the important thing to remember is that it would be as if you were playing a tabletop game. You can't raise yourself. If someone else is there with you, they could reach into your bag and they could get this spongy, disgusting cake that you've been carrying around for however long, and they could shove it in your mouth. That's legal.
Okay.
It's a little weird, but...
Yeah, it is a little weird. Eat this cake, damn you, live!
Well, but I do have a hireling. So assuming the hireling survives the... So if the hireling survives the encounter...
Hey, maybe you should get above level 4 before you start thinking about using that, because anything below level 4 is like a lemming, don't you think? Sort of just a mindless sheep that can just wander off a cliff at any time. They're so easy to kill. They're like little baby chickens, drowned in their own water bowl.
Yeah, they do have a habit of doing that.
Exactly.
That's one way of describing them, I guess. I can think of a few others, but
exactly. So whenever you die, are you passing down one will item, or are you starting fresh completely?
Before
most
creating the
permadeath guilds will allow you to will one item to your next character.
I've been deleting the old character before starting the new one.
Yeah, without even looking at your inventory and going, I'll keep this one thing. And then
Pine Leaf is hardcore like that.
He is hardcore. I like that. I think he would fit right in. You'd fit right in. I'm telling you, you need to look at some of these permadeath guilds. There is actually a permadeath guild listing on the DDO forums. if you want to
All
add
right.
it. The link to your show notes, which lists most of them. There is permadeath going on in some way, shape, or form on almost every server. And their rules are all just a little bit different. So you find the one that irritates you the least and join that one. Yes.
Is there any one server that is more active for permadeath than others?
Well, it looks like Canids had 0 guilds.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time on Canaan. As a matter of fact, I was telling you guys before the show even started that I had to go and see what I even had on Canaan because you guys said you played on Canaan. And now I have a level 12 paladin and a level 7 artificer that I'm ready for you, Dracula. You just don't even know what's coming, bro.
Oh, I am so scared.
You don't even know.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
So I could probably talk for hours about PD. Do you have any specific questions?
Well, you answered the ones I had.
The one you had. Other stuff will come up. Other stuff will.
Yeah, sure.
Don't even worry about it. Other stuff will come up. But you should look at the guilds listing and see if anything kind of clicks with you. Because some guilds are more hardcore than others. Some guilds don't even want you using the auction house or the brokers. Some guilds will allow you to use the auction house or the brokers, and other guilds will let you do daily dice rolls.
They don't allow you to use brokers?
No, you don't get to buy a thing. No raise scrolls for you, bro. But in the one that I play in most of the time on the Lanus, we do use the brokers because, as you know, in any tabletop game, you would be able to go to a town and you would be able to buy potions or scrolls or whatever before you went out and adventure. So,
right.
Exactly.
Now, when you said no using of brokers, does that mean for anything or just for stuff to raise
Anything.
Anything.
No potions, no wands, no scrolls, no auction house, no brokers that sell refurbished weapons or what they call the pawnbrokers or whatever. The only thing you get to buy is spell components and ammunition. That's it.
Well, that's probably just about all I buy anyway.
There you go. You're ready. You are ready.
I just have to see which of these,
see which one fits you the best. You should see my guild ship on Delanus, the airship. We have a crafting hall and we have the higher level crafting hall for the shroud and hireling tavern, the bank, mailbox, and that's pretty much it. That's it. That's the whole ship.
And which server is that?
That's on Thalanus. That's the Sublime Permadeath Guild. That's the one I'm in most of the time.
The Sublime Permadeath. Okay, because there are 2 guilds on that server. Yes.
Yes, there are, and feel free to check them all out. I also play on Galanda. In the PD halls of Valhalla, and they have a very nice guild ship, and they will let you use guild ship buffs, but you must make it to level 7 first without death, and you get something they call untouchable status, where you're allowed to use those ship buffs. However, if you ever die, and even if you're raised in quest by a cleric or whoever, you are no longer allowed to use ship buffs ever.
I would think that with a name like the Halls of Valhalla, where the Halls of Valhalla implies, because since Valhalla is a place you go after dying, it sounds like a very
they just keep coming back. They just keep coming back. They just keep on coming back.
All right. So now let's go into the other area we're talking about, and
you talked about
these are some tips for new players.
Yeah. What I thought would be fun, instead of tips for new players, I have new player tips for old players first. Because there are more old players around, in my estimation, than there are new players. And keeping the new players around is a matter of patiently teaching them about some of the little nuances of the game that I think as veteran players, a lot of us take for granted. For example, this is my advice. If you like the game, you want to keep playing it, take some personal responsibility and help out a new person once a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever. Just pay it forward once. As a veteran player, I know how frustrating it is to play with someone who literally knows nothing about the game, and they can't find their own backside with both hands and a flashlight because they don't know how to use the map. or they don't know how to use their inventory, or they don't know how to set up their chat. But, you really ought to take some time out and teach one person one new thing every so often, and I think it would help. Paying it forward like that, I think, would help player retention. So that's my advice. New player tips for old players, and also to be proactive about taking care of party members who you know are new, because it's super, super intimidating if you get into a pickup group and someone doesn't know where the quest door is, or they don't know who to talk to, they don't even know what red dooring is, and God forbid they get lost. Because you might step into the quest and they're still out in the explorer zone trying to find the doggone door. Well, take some personal responsibility and help these people out as the sheriff, as the guy with the star. So bottom line there, if you like playing the game, help one other person out. That's my new player tips for old players. So, and next I have for you new player tips, because God love you guys. Man, sometimes you're so frustrating. Read. That's my biggest tip, is to read. Because if you don't know anything, DDO can be this big, confusing labyrinth, and there are these little bitty nuances that you don't know. I've been playing since 2006. I still learn new things. I played with a new player who was ready to quit, actually, because he didn't know what he was doing. He couldn't figure anything out. I had to walk him through little things that a vet player takes for granted, like he didn't know how to set up his action bars. He didn't know how to lock his action bars down. He didn't know about his sound. I asked him if he could see his dice. He said, I have dice. So, yeah, I had to teach him about hotkeys, and I had to teach him about the different chat windows, how to filter guild chat and through party chat, so he didn't have to so that he didn't have to have a bunch of windows on his screen. These are all things that I learned slowly over time and worked out for myself. But new players get really overwhelmed by the amount of information we have in this game. So my advice is to just take it slow, learn it at your pace, because it's really worth the effort that you're going to put into it. I also have a link for you guys. The DDO wiki page has a pretty decent newbie guide, so new players can take a look at that and get a lot of help there. I even learned things from the splash screen, from the player hints splash screen every once in a while, things that I didn't know. That's how I learned how to take a screenshot. I had no idea how to take a screenshot. I didn't know how to get all the junk off my screen before I took a screenshot until I looked at the player hints splash page. So you have to pay attention to those little nuances, and it will come. If you build it, it will come. If you play, you will slowly learn it.
I wonder if when I did my YouTube series on the Druid, if any veteran players saw any of it and how much they laughed when seeing it.
Well, isn't it great that you can look back on stuff whenever you knew versus whenever you didn't know, and you can laugh at these things, and it's funny. So that's one of the great things about this game, is that it's so evolved that you can play a totally different game than I'm playing. It's basically like having it your way. I love it. I absolutely love it. You can be a high level power gamer, and you can be out there doing your thing, and I can be the style of play that I like. I can be a permadeather, and I can go out and play the game my way. I love it.
All right. By the way, what's the furthest you have gotten a permadeath character?
Right now, my furthest character is on her 3rd life TR. She has enough XP for 19, but I'm holding it until I cap out, until I make 20. And then I don't think I'm going to take her back around the horn. That was just work. I'll probably do something else or try to level her a little bit higher. So yeah, she's on her 3rd life. I'm pretty proud of her.
Impressive.
What's
really
3rd
impressive.
life?
3rd life, as in I've TR'd her 3 times.
I don't know what you mean by TR.
Oh my. Oh my. Okay, so you take a character, you level them up to 20. And whenever you get to 20, you can take that character and you can resurrect them from the very beginning all over again. But they remember a few things from their past life. So giving a character a past life is very good. And we actually have a player in our guild who is trying to go for what you call completionist, which means he's trying to give his permadeath character every past life. And he is on number 4 or 5, I want to say. So he's doing pretty good so far. TR. It takes a few months. We play a TR group in my guild once a week, and his character is just a monster. It's an absolute monster. It's so much fun to play with because if I feel like I can't handle it, I can just totally pike off whatever he's doing. You go ahead and take this one. I'm good. I'm going to stay back here.
Okay. I've always been wondering what that past life thing, because I see that on the character sheet, but I've never quite understood what they were talking about.
Yes. Like, I'll give you an example. My TR has a fighter past life and a paladin past life. So I get little bonuses for having those past lives. And right now she's doing an artificer, which I'm so tempted out. I almost want to make her into a paladin again because that's my first love. That's my favorite class. So I don't know. And then it gets even more. See, this is what I'm talking about, the labyrinth, because it gets even more confusing. Because let's say you make it to 20 and then you make it to 28. Well, once you make it to 28, you can epic TR and you can take your character back down to level 20 and you retain some things depending on how you TR. You can get some more physical resistance, or you can get, some more spell power. And if you keep doing it, you make your character more and more powerful. And suddenly these epic elite quests don't seem so daunting. You know what I mean? It's all about taking that time and making your character a little bit more powerful. Does that make any sense at all?
All right. So it
Samus
certainly takes a long time based on what you say.
It does. It does. It's not for the faint of heart.
Oh,
but a lot of people do it.
I mean, I'm known for my army of alts. Let's just say that.
I have 2 more tips for you for new players.
Right.
One is bring a friend, because even as a clueless noob, you should never be alone. Right? You should make one of your friends suffer along with you while you're figuring it out. That's exactly what you should do. And then, once you know it, then you can just kick them right out. So,
I don't need you anymore. See?
Exactly. I don't need you anymore, friend. Get out of here. So, and my last thing is be patient, because you're not going to be able to learn it all and fall into high-level content overnight, even if you do what they call paying to win and you roll up a level 15 character, you're still going to get humbled in some way. I've seen it over and over again. And I love it when people get humbled. I love it when they die. I love it when they take on more than they can, bite off more than they can chew, because it's humbling. It's a good experience. It's a learning experience for you.
Yeah, I've always been one who's always, I'm even talking about pen and paper, where I've always had a preference for the lower levels over the higher levels. I know some people just love it. They feel the game doesn't start till you hit level 20. To me, it's like, well, I don't know. It feels more like
high-level content high-level content is very addictive. It cannot be underestimated. Low-level content's fun. High-level content is very addictive. I have to give it that.
Well, I've never found that to be true in Lotro, so I'll have to find out how it goes in DDO.
Yeah. Find out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself in DDO.
Well, first I got to get a character up that high.
You do.
We're working on it, Pine Leaf. We're working on it.
We're working on it, one level at a time. Yes. Good thing we're not permadeath on that particular setup.
Oh, that reminds me. I have a challenge for Draculetta.
No.
Because of his little rogue, and I can't sit back and sleep at night while you trash crafting. I just can't do it. Oh my gosh. So my challenge for you is to give me, I would have said 1 week, but give me 2 weeks, and then you decide. Let me take you under my wing, and then you can decide whether or not.
And you're talking about on my level 9 pure rogue,
yes,
right? Okay.
I'm talking about your rogue. Give me 2 weeks with him. And then you decide whether or not you love it or you hate it. Let me take you into the labyrinth.
Into the labyrinth.
Yes, it is a labyrinth. So, and then if you say you hate it after that, you know what? You hate it.
Okay, challenge accepted.
Okay, good.
All right,
challenge accepted. So we'll see how this goes.
Yes.
We'll see whether or not crafting is the epic battles of DDO or not. All right. Any other items you'd like to talk about?
No, I don't think so. Isn't this the part of the show where you guys talk about what you did?
Yeah, we can. How about you starting that out?
Oh, okay, I can do that. I can do that because the Cove just closed, the Crystal Cove. event just closed, and I went so far into the rabbit hole with Crystal Cove, and also the Caneth challenges. Just I didn't even know which way was up. I didn't know if it was night or day. Didn't know. Just I was Alice. I was through the looking glass. And I'm so into it that me and another member of my static group, whenever we see each other, we call each other Sid and Nancy, because that's the level of addiction that we're talking about here. Just I made everything for everyone. And when the Cove comes back, whenever it comes back, I will probably do it again.
I just cannot get into Crystal Cove. Maybe it's because I was just always by myself doing it, maybe. It was just, I could not get into it.
Well, if you go with somebody else, I suggest going with someone your own level.
Yeah, I found that out the hard way a couple times. It's like, oh, I can kill that guy. Oh, crap, he's a level 13. I'm dead.
Aww.
All right, so you're spending the week in Crystal Cove?
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else?
No, just Caneth Crystal Cove and Caneth challenges. That has consumed me. Absolutely. That's consumed me.
You have a way then of, and Drac and I tried a couple of challenges, and does it take a while before one starts getting the hang of them? Because we just go in there and we run to a brick wall and get killed.
It's okay. Shh. It's okay. It's all going to be okay. I told you, Draculeta's going to give me 2 weeks.
Okay.
And we're going to turn it
for challenges.
Be afraid.
For everything. That's part of crafting. Challenges are part of crafting.
Oh, they are part of crafting.
You get ingredients, don't you? You get ingredients and you turn them in for stuff. So in my mind, that's part of crafting. So he's going to have to do that too. It's all okay. I'm setting aside my week for you, Draculeta.
You may never see me again, Peter.
You may disappear.
I'm scared. I don't know where she's going to take me. I'm scared. Help me.
You should
save
be
me.
Into the Twilight Zone.
This should be very interesting. I will give you that.
And then I'm gonna have Draculeta in 2 weeks, all excited about this stuff and wanting to get me into it.
Yep, exactly. You're paying it forward, just like that. That's the way it works.
I will totally keep an open mind. We will see.
Okay.
All right then. Drac, what did you do then?
My level 9 rogue only did one quest this week. That was in House Jarasco. It was the Grave Robber. I'm still basically just trying to clear out my quest log. I, at one point, picked up a ton of quests, and I'm just going through and clearing those out. And then the Ranger Rogue, which is level 8 now. Pineleaf and I, on our Wednesday night playthrough, did the Party Crashers quest that we tried last week. This week, we did it on normal mode, and we actually succeeded. It was still crazy at the end, but not quite as crazy as it was on hard mode.
All right. Anything else?
That was it. I actually didn't have a lot of playtime this week. That real-life thing got in the way.
Yes, well, I, of course, had my Artificer, my level 8 Artificer, with finishing Party Crashers with it, which I call Revenge of the Party Crashers, because it's what happened to us the first time. And what we did is, after that, of course, I was spending the rest of the week on permadeath characters, and my Paladin finished off Korthos Island. Then I got to the harbor. I started doing the series where you're helping the guy with the warehouse, where, you first protect a box, then you go around smashing boxes, and then you go into a third dungeon and just repeat that dungeon except with kobolds in it. Well, the third time I decided, well, I'm a level above this dungeon's level. Let's do it in hard.
You should learn by now, Pineleaf. You should learn by now.
I have done it on other characters. I have done that quest on hard on other characters under the same circumstances.
How often?
Paladin, you should have been able to turn it out.
How often do the words, "Oh, we can handle this quest on hard," ever work out for us?
Yeah, I have done it on an Artificer, I think, quite easily, and I think even on a Druid on hard, but my Paladin got killed. I was just, what is going on here?
Poor
Cleric Ireling.
Poor Pineleaf. 2 dead permadeath characters.
Oh no, you lost your Paladin.
Poor guy.
I'm sorry.
So what's next? Have you rolled?
I rolled the dice. I don't know if you knew about my style of selecting permadeath characters, but it's to roll the dice and determine which one I do. And so I roll the die, and I got a bard this time. So I'm currently level 2, getting pretty close to 3, and I'm right up ready to do the last quest on Korthos Island, which means that soon I'll be ready to head out into Stormreach Harbor and see how many quests it takes me to get killed.
Oh my gosh.
Poor Pine.
This time you're not going to overdo it.
I'm going to try to avoid overdoing it. And
good.
this is also my opportunity to test out the swashbuckler tree.
Yes. Oh, you're going to fall in love.
Yes, because so far that's what I've been staying on so far on this character. And I'm probably going to work on it as much as possible. So we'll see how that works. And that's what I've been doing because, that's right, because the weekend I didn't do much on DDO because that was, actually no, that was the week before. I'm getting my weekends all confused. That's right, this was Halloween weekend.
Did you get all sugared up? Was it all the sugar you ate from all the candy you ate?
Yeah, I think it was just finishing up my characters on Lotro because I was spending a lot of time on characters from Lotros to get ready because they're about to do a major update there. So I wanted to make sure that I was ready there. And what they have to do, they have to add musical instruments to DDO, I think. Have bards perhaps being able to play music in groups the same way we do in Lotro where we put on concerts.
It would be really cool. What you don't like the Stormreach fight song?
Well, and to see some variety. If you've ever been, some year, you should roll up a character on Lotro and go to Weatherstock. Or maybe before then, maybe Winterstock, because Winterstock will be in the winter, of course, and that'll be... So what you have is you sometimes have these concerts that go on all day, and hearing all different bands playing quite a wide variety of music all through there. So I'm in an orchestra that plays various classical pieces. So we're pieces from Mozart and occasionally some... And this weekend, we were doing one for Halloween, so therefore it was a horror fest. So it was a concert full of bands doing this. We're playing pieces that have to do with, with horror or suspense or something like that, and or costumes, which is we finished off with Superman because it's associated with costuming. So yes, and of course the players trying to arrange all this music so that it sounds nice.
It sounds really cool. I'll have to actually think about it.
Yeah. Now, we have to convince the devs to implement like that. And because you do have I don't think I hear much in the way of music when you're playing your bard, because that's the closest thing you have to the Lotro minstrel. And I think I hear one or two skills that might play a little music, but certainly not up to the level that you have in there where you could switch instruments and stuff like that.
You're speaking Greek to me.
Yeah, you're speaking Greek.
I don't even know what you're talking about anymore.
Yeah. We're going to have to, yes, that should be something that maybe someday we could talk to devs into adding into DDO.
That'd be great.
Some variety of instrumentation into the game and being able to form bands and the like. Because in Lotro you could play your own music, so to speak, when you're not in combat. All right, and that pretty much covers what I did. So anyone else have anything which they add that they've remembered that they had forgotten?
Nope, that was it. Telling you, real life got in the way this week.
That real life. So let's go into donations then. You can help support DDO Players by simply going to the donations page where you can help support the podcast on DDO Players and also help support the site. We have $5 mentions where you could donate $5 or more and get a mention on DDO Players News. As for feedback, we don't have any iTunes reviews yet, but we will welcome one. But we do have a featured comment from Commodore Amiga. And Drac, could you please read this?
Sure. Commodore Amiga left a comment on our last episode via the YouTube page. He says, it would be great if you could plug our DDO Veterans Day event, which will take place on Monday, November 11th at 3 p.m. and at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that will be held on Galanda in House Denise. They are going to be gathering by the Temple of the Sovereign Host, as they do every year, and there'll be a link to the forum page for some more information.
Now, since November 11th is on a Tuesday this year, is it Monday or is it November 11th?
Well, let me look at the link because he said it was Monday, November 11th, but let's see. Don't know how to answer that because the forum post says it's Monday, November 11th. So I will maybe put a response on
okay, at the bottom it says Tuesday, November 11th.
Okay, yes it does. So let me change. I'll change that in the show notes. Strike that. It's Tuesday, November 11th. 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That is on Galanda, House Denise, Temple of the Sovereign Host.
House Denise, Temple of the Sovereign Host. All right, then. And that should be an interesting event. All right, for Veterans Day, or if you're outside the United States, you may be calling it Remembrance Day.
Only you would know that, Pine Leaf.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of people outside the United States who would know that.
Could be, maybe. It's that Pine Leaf logic thing again. Come on.
Well, I got to consult Pinepedia for that. All right, we don't have any emails, so you can contact us by emailing us at podcasts@ddoplayers.com, and you can also follow us at Twitter. You follow the Players Alliance at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Draculetta at Draculetta_72, Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles, and you can follow Lessa, our guest tonight, at Lessa. And the Players Alliance has 2 live shows a week. On Mondays at 8:30 p.m. server time, we have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays 8:30 p.m. server time, we have Locho Players News. And please join us for the live shows. And that is all for tonight. And this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to loot those treasure chests.